mother. Anyway, the little lady that was over here. Your grandmother?
Yes.
Okay. When you look at the fact that there's no, that the dad is in jail, this is reality. Jails are filled with folks. And okay, so dad in jail. Because dad in jail don't mean that the education stops.
Right.
It means that the responsibility may double, but at the same token, the commitment is still there. And one great shining example is the President of the United States, Barack Obama. So if he can be President of the United States and raised out of a broken home, then certainly that does not give us other excuses to say that we can't when we can, and when we must find a way to get it done. Anyway, I get long-winded, I can go and I can go and I can go. I want this organization and this body to participate with us as we try to get these parents together. We're going to bring some people in, not with a whole bunch of talk and good messages and a bunch of sound good. I'm going to bring some real people in, some real folks. And just like you all said, the experience of the young folks, because we're going to have Vanessa and those folks speaking to make, and you all as well, to be engaged to tell us what the deal really is and what the expectations of the parents should be. We need to hear that. But first we got to open up parents' ears. And they got to understand that on yesterday I went out to Lone Star Park. I don't really say that too public. I'm going to tell you, I went out to Lone Star Park. And yesterday at Lone Star Park, last night at Lone Star Park, I saw so many Hispanics out at the horse park, at the racetrack. And I just closed my eyes and I envisioned two things. I looked at all of the number of Hispanics that were heading off at Lone Star Park. They was carrying babies, and they was giving them milk, and they was pushing strollers, and the daddy was there with the white hat on. They say not good Hispanics wear white hats. Oh, that's what I heard. But they all had on, they had the white star hats on, okay? But they was there. And my point is, they were there as a family. And with a family on Friday. But I closed my eyes. And I said, okay, let me just envision. Let me just look at Button and all of us, as the Coach's Corner, and all those places where they're not with the family. And so what is that kid doing? The kids are always on my mind. Okay? Because when I was raised, and CW and I were raised together, he goes, I am, but we were raised together.
I have raised him.
Yeah. But our mother was a beautician, and my mother was on a Friday. You know, when you're doing the black women's hair, back in the day, it wasn't like all the stuff y'all got going now. I mean, I'm talking about this shampoo, we come out from under that bowl. I mean, hair was standing everywhere, and then it broke down. Icon. Had to do all these different things. I'm from the real deal. And then, but after doing all of that hard work all day and all week, on Friday, my mother and his mother, they walk us home. You know, hold the kids by the hand, we're going home. We've been to school all day, we cut up, we did everything we needed to do. But when we would get home on Friday nights, and I never will forget, that's on Friday night, when we still had black and white television, that's when Untouchables were on. and we had the hamburgers, and my mother had to go in there and cook. I was working all day, and she cooked the hamburgers, and we had a hamburger, we watched Untouchables, and that's the way it was. And I equate that with where is the parent today. Right. And the parent, even on the weekends, should be engaged with that kid even on a Friday night versus the club. Now, I'm guilty because I go to the club too. I've been to Buttons, I've been to Coach's Corner, so I'm guilty. But I don't have the kids now, but I'm guilty of that. But I have to say, and I do fair comparison, because I tell people, just because you're black don't mean you're right.
Right.
All the time. Because I see Hispanics, and I'm not trying to up the Hispanics, but the reality is, I see more Hispanics walking into the babies in school and holding their hand at 3 o'clock in the evening. They go on there, they get them little kids, and they bring them home, and so you see that family. And now the Hispanics, they got their set problems. Okay, it's not all good parents. as we're not all good parents. But at the same token, you have to give that comparison.
Right.
And it's a fact of what we see and where we're going. And if indeed we do not engage and get ourselves committed to these kids' education, and to make sure that they know that when they get home in the evening, because we get home in the evening from when I went to St. Anthony, we get home by 3:30, 4 o'clock in the evening, and we could kind of run around and do some things, but I'm going to tell you, at 7 o'clock, all of my homework had to be done. And then it was checked by my parents. And so that's another form of engagement. So you do that you want to do, but 7 o'clock you better have this under control. And so we got to make sure the parents know that if they do the checking, and they'll just play the bluff of it anyway, and get engaged, then these test scores that we're talking about may take a peak upward versus downward. So without saying anything at all, without having any kind of threat at all, then the kid is going to relax and do what they choose to do. Then the next thing, once a teacher all day long, teach that kid. And that teacher says, okay, you know, you got this, and you got this, you do this, you do this, and the kid kind of bows into it just a little bit. And then after school at 4 o'clock, when the kid get home, and then mom and dad sitting up smoking their Black and Mild and doing all what they're doing, but actually in front of the kids. And again, these are things that we have to tell parents and show parents that you be the parent, but now you got to let the kids grow up,
Right.
and let the kids grow into the fingernail polish. It was y'all. I mean, some of y'all didn't know you couldn't put no lipstick on till you were about 15 or 16 years old. And so these folks have it a different way nowadays. And it's because we have let our guard down and we let them grow too fast. And when they grow too fast, if you can get to the fingernail polish and the lipstick when you're this big, then we can tell you nothing when you're this big.
Right.
So certain things you have to program, and I'm just from the old school. I'm just sorry. But the old school is the right school.
Right.
And then it started off, as I said to them already, that we need to open up school with a prayer. I said, we can't pray yet? Okay, fine. Do it with a moment of silence. Pray whoever you want to pray to. And do the pledge of allegiance and start the day off with some authority and respect. And still back in that teacher the opportunity to teach your child, not to beat your child, but to teach your child. And then if your child needs to be touched up a little bit, C.W. got whooped by his principal, you got whooped, you got spanked, you did good.
How many times?
I got spanked and I'm the mayor. So it didn't hurt me, it didn't kill me, okay? But it made me who I was, and it's a part of it. So my point is, I do not personally want to see a child abused.
Right.
But then you got to have some discipline. And then you got to make sure that discipline is respected even when you get back to the house. Okay? Now, good programs in the churches, we want to do all of that. We want to do what we want to support all of the different organizations out here. But that's what this organization is about. And that's what we do, and that's what I believe in. We're going to continue to focus in. We're going to continue to do straight talk, and we're going to continue to make a difference in kids' lives. We have made a difference. We have made a difference in kids' lives. One kid came to us and said he wanted to commit suicide. Okay? Jesus, we still have him now. Okay? This kid, had we not had the function, and had he not had the opportunity to walk down and to tell us and to share with us what was on his mind, it could be any of our schools that this child could have said, well, since I want to commit suicide, I was going to ride schools, we want to take everybody to school. Okay? But now we have him pulled over to the side. We have another guy that said he was stealing and teaching his little brother how to steal. And now he's a scholar and he worked in Barbara's office. She ended up hiring him. And now he's off to college, got his own car, and doing a great thing. We have another kid that came to us when he was 12, didn't know how to tie his tie, didn't even have a tie. Don't even know his daddy. Okay? I'm his daddy now, but here's the deal. Showed him how to tie his tie. He wears us to death. He handles all of my Facebook and Twitter. Don't try to ask me how do you get on Twitter. But I don't know. Okay? And Khalil handles Twitter. But Khalil now is a junior at Skyline. He was making D's and F's. Now he's making A's and B's. He's working up in our office and he's doing some things. So I'm saying that we have a responsibility to reach out and connect. We got one little girl she was, how old was the baby? 13 years old and was pregnant. A little summer was just like a little basketball. And when you look at her now, she has 2 kids, granted, and I saw her at Walmart. She ran up to me and told me thank you, and such a difference. She's getting educated. She's a straight up and down mother, and I am so proud of the little girl now. But if you reach and throw them out the door, then you're not happy. But if you kind of embrace them and become that connect with them and show them a real hope, they'll try to grab on and then they will try to move forward. And you know, I'm just proud that we can move forward. So I'm going to stop now.
I just have a question. When you guys do to the parents, are you going to have a follow-up or a support group afterwards?
Here's what we're going to do. We're planning it now. And so we will be planning, and then this group, should you all want to volunteer and help, we'll be making the suggested decisions as to what we should do. My vision today is, 1, I'm going to get the parents in there. 2, I'm going to get Irma P. Hall, the grandmama with soul food, and let her come in on that walker, let her sit down and talk. I think people kind of will listen to her true stories. We're trying to formulate who, and we've not reached that point. I think, and one reason I want to do it at the convention center, because afterwards we want to have a breakout. Okay, we want to engage them. I want every school representative there. Okay, I want Spruce, South Cliff, South Story, Holmes, and all of them there, and they'll be in a different area. So when we get through straight talking, then they'll be able to walk out the door and go to their respective schools. And then other little things that they need to talk and do and deal with, we can formulate from that. There will be vendors and health screening and all that stuff. Okay. We're going to do 2 of them. It's my plan to do 2. One is convention center. And then the next one will take place right before the back-to-school giveaway. And what I'm currently talking with the mayor is that before they can register, they got to come to this deal.
Right.
And they can register at this deal. That means we get all the parents we need. I think we need an emergency one now to kind of set the tone. Right. Then we need an organized one where they will have to come, whether they like it or not, if they want the school supplies. Okay?
Right.
So we will do that, and all of these things are being formulated, but we're very, very far from putting everything in stuff.
Okay, I live in Fort Worth,
okay,
so I have to drive all the way over here every time there's anything going on. Thank you, Gene, wherever you are. I'm very glad to be considered to even be able to assist. But what can I do? Are you connected in any way, affiliated with anybody in Fort Worth? So if there's nothing, if you guys are not collaborating with Fort Worth at all, then I have to continue to make the drive, and I would actually like to be able to work in both areas unless it's...
Here's what we do. I'm very connected with Councilman Moss in Fort Worth. He does a tremendous job. I led the charge with the Pull Up Your Pants campaign. I think the worst thing is for these little boys who run their pants down. I think it's disrespectful. I think it's dirty. I think everything is bad about it. And I think all the ladies ought to say something about it. It's me. All right? Because once the ladies start saying something about it, and y'all turn your voices up, then the boys will get it under control. You know, ladies rule the world. And so y'all need to make sure that they know they have no chance if this is going to be the way that they're going to proceed. Number one, it's very disrespectful and distasteful. I mean, I've been on Dr. Phil with it. I've been everywhere. But again, when you're trying to educate and say the right things, folks are not going to let that message get out there, because now there's a manufacturer, I understand, that have even designed some paint that depict the underwear, but you know, where it's pulled up, but then this part looks like underwear and the pants are down. I mean, this is just ridiculous. And they're only selling this to our community. And until our community decides to stand, and I'm going to say something about it as soon as I get a chance. I mean, there's so much on my plate, I just can't get to all the things that I really want to do. But we will deal with it. But back to Fort Worth. There's a relationship with Councilman Moss. If you saw the billboards over in Fort Worth, that resonated from our Pull Up Your Pants campaign here. He is an active and very responsible council member, and we can collaborate and do the same thing in Fort Worth at the same time. Okay? The gun buyback program, we collaborated together Councilman Moss and myself, the Public Pants Campaign. So this goes for everybody, everywhere. And we appreciate that. You could be our lead forward, and we'll see that we'll hook up with myself, Councilman Moss, and get the hook up forward.
We talked about earlier preventing teen pregnancies. I was making Raina's notes. I'm over in East Dallas, and Dallas ISD is making a real big push for the African American Initiative. And since now Dallas is now a predominantly Hispanic district, and one of the things I'm over at my school is AA, African American Initiative for boys and girls. I've ran my reports, and I'm having a hard time finding. My principal wants to bring in the East Dallas Gentlemen's Club to mentor our black boys, and I don't think it's necessarily a problem, but I just kind of see it an issue that older white gentlemen would like to mentor young black boys.
That's a great idea.
And so I would like to have a mix in the mentor program for them to see.
Is this the DISD program?
Yes, sir. Well, DISD, on most school CIP programs, they have an African American initiative. And ours is more intensive this year because we became academically unacceptable last year over 2 African American boys. So it's a push that let's get these African American kids, but I'm having a hard time because I'm the black council. We're not about to target our black kids and make them feel ostracized that, oh, now you're in the black club.
Yeah.
And so,
My focus has been strictly on kids. Okay, that's number one. And there are certain times that you hear me, and I talk public about white folks, Hispanics, and black folks.
okay.
I'm talking about my tongue. But I'm not racist at all. I'm for the kids.
Okay.
Any program needs to be for all kids, that's number one. And if you begin to continue to separate it, then we're going to create that barrier.
Right.
When all those kids are in the same classroom, they're in the classroom as kids. And when one little boy learns, all little boys should learn.
Right.
Okay? Now, we got to get beyond the language barrier, because for those that may not speak English, then we need to make sure that we're there. The same as what we're doing with the parents thing. We're having to make sure the translators are there. And we say, well, it might get to the point because of the number of Hispanics that we may find ourselves having too. Okay? Just to make sure we get this message across. We're still trying to figure it out. I think that is something that